has also removed the principal of the school. This while enraged parents are calling for stricter measures in the recruitment of teachers. Queen Ngwenya is a parent at the school.
The teacher accused of the crime must be fired and arrested because this is a crime. An older teacher can never be said to be dating a learner. This is what grooming is, because the learner does not know better.
Education department officials met with parents, teachers, political parties and civil rights groups. In attendance was EFF Deputy Chairperson Philip Makwala.
Yeah, we want education to resume, but at the center of that education to resume, the injustice that has been committed here must be confronted head on.
He says they resolved that learners must return to school tomorrow. Jabulile Mbata, Eyewitness News, Soshanguve.
And lastly, online retail giant Shein has removed an image of Luigi Magnioni from its site. Magnioni is accused of murdering United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in New York last year. His likeness was used to model a shirt on the fast fashion website until its removal. Shein says the image was provided by a third-party vendor and that it's conducting a thorough investigation to strengthen its monitoring processes. The company says it will take appropriate action against the vendor in line with its policies. A fine Thursday in store for Gauteng tomorrow. Johannesburg drops to overnight lows of 12, peaking at 29 degrees. Pretoria 14 and 31, and Vereniging 11 and 30 degrees. Noluthando Ngeno, Eyewitness News.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
#MSW. You may begin to feel anxious or excited.
Honest, deliberate, engaging, uncensored.
High-dosage administration can cause adverse reactions.
And most importantly, independent in mind and execution.
This is a normal response. Are you ready?
Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Great show as always, Rob.
Thank you, Mr. Marawa. Good show as always.
Great show as always. Thanks.
Great show as always.
Great show as always, Rob. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the wonderful show, Robert. Thank you so much. It
always gives me pleasure to speak to someone who's got such an insight.
I love the introduction.
Hey, what a show, Marawa.
The room dividers.
The room dividers.
The room dividers. Zato Mamanj.
Tanda Banana, as well as Mike Greenaway.
And I get a feeling is that we're going to have cracker of 2 games on Saturday at 6, on Saturday at 9.
Pressure, though. Somebody was saying that Rassie is feeling the pressure. Guys, is that true? But firstly, answer it after hearing this.
I think Rassie is feeling the pressure now. I remember him forcing a scrum against Italy of all nations. I mean, did he really have to do that? And also announcing his squad against Australia for the Ellis Park test on a Monday, and that backfired on him, So, yeah, his back is against the wall now. So there's no mind games here. So the guy is under immense pressure. I think the All Blacks are going to run riot on Saturday.
Yeah, run riot.
He probably is. I mean, in any Springbok coach coaching against the All Blacks in New Zealand, it's a massive game. We mustn't forget that the Springboks have on a 4-match winning streak against the All Blacks. I think there's probably more pressure on Scott Robertson losing to Argentina the week before.
If one were to look, Rob, at the All Blacks, they've got an issue with Barrett, who himself has been off form. He's the captain of the team. Sia is injured. Not that he's out of form, but from an All Black point of view, Barrett is off form completely.
All right, as we said, we're going to be going to chat to Lorian Jonas. Hope to is the assistant coach there with the Springbok women. Were there any difficult moments? Yes, I think them catching up on 2 occasions when we had the upper hand.
I think we just reiterated the fact that we needed to stick to our system. We've been really working really hard over the past few months just to get our systems in place. It's so important that we stay there and we stay calm, and everything else will fall into place once you're back what you need to do.
They've beaten Italy for the first time in their history.
Robert Marawa, live on 947. Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live. #MSW.
Well, someone said that they can't keep up with all of the sporting activities happening in and around the world of sport. But I can update you and tell you that it's just, 27 days left until the start of the ICC Women's Cricket World Cup. We'll tell you about the squad announcement today. Very exciting stuff indeed for women's cricket. Commonwealth Games is all of 323 days to go. But closer to home is Morocco. 2025 Africa Cup of Nations is 109 days away. So there's the countdown, guys, but the big one, 283 days until that groundbreaking FIFA World Cup 26. It is hashtag MSW, Marawa Sports Worldwide, probably brought to you by Hollywood Bets.
Let's go! The moments you remember. The games you can't forget. Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947, Vuma FM and Rise FM. Powered by Hollywood Bets.
All right, still chatting about the cricket. South Africa unveiling its 15-player squad, though, for the ICC Women's Cricket World Cup. That's set to unfold across India from the 30th of September to the 2nd of November. So it's congrats once again, Laura Wolfgott, leading the season Proteas unit, featuring stalwarts like Chloe, Tryon, Marizan Kap, Ayabonga Kaka. Also, Sunay Lewis is there. Tasman Brits adding the top order firepower. You got the dynamic all-rounder core. There's Nadine de Klerk, Annika Bosch, Annery Dixon, as well as Zunundumiso Shangase, kind of bringing the depth and versatility. So behind the stumps, though, will be Sinalo Jafta, and also the 17-year-old sensation, Karabo Miso, blending experience with youthful promise. Now, the bowling attack is bolstered by Nonkululeko Mlaba's spin. The seam, the trio there of Masabata Class, as well as Grobler-Sekhukhune and Kaka as well. So South Africa opens its campaign against England on the 3rd of October in Guwahati, aiming to make a statement in terms of subcontinent conditions. So yeah, well done. Congratulations to those who've been selected to lead the charge for South Africa as far as the Cricket World Cup is concerned. I'll still talk about the excitement and the expectation from women. South Africa's Springbok women are also riding a wave of pride. I mean, there's relief, there's joy in the air. But the mood in the camp is shifting, though, with playoff qualification secured. Now, the focus now sharpens on that very important game. Sunday's Pool D decider against France at Franklin's Gardens in Northampton. The fly half, though, Libby Janse van Rensburg, says that the team's emotions are still lingering, though, from their historic win over Italy. But a new fire seems to be burning.
I think everyone realizes we tick the box now by making it into the quarterfinals. But of course, if you're looking at the seating in the pools, that will make our life a lot easier. I think now that we've come to the realization that we're in the quarterfinal, there's been talks of semi-finals now, and that's now the next step for us. If we want to get to the semi, we need a good quarterfinal. If we beat France, we make it easier for ourselves to then once again make history. So I don't think that going into this game against France, the mindset is, we can relax, we're already in the quarterfinal. We have got that feeling now of proving people wrong, that satisfaction of winning games, of having the crowd behind you. And I think that's what we're using as fuel now. We want to feel that again. It's been 3 games now that we haven't walked off the field with our heads hanging low, but with our chests big and open, smiling at the crowds. And that's a feeling that we've longed for so long. And I think it's something that our girls want more of now.
Oh, what a positive vibe, and we wish them everything of the best on Sunday. Busy weekend, though, for Springbok Rugby, with rising star Kanan Moody under no illusions about the scale of Saturday's Rugby Championship clash at Eden Park, where South Africa will attempt to snap the All Blacks' 50-match unbeaten streak, though, at the iconic Auckland venue.
Yeah, I think obviously it is. I think, like I said, the magnitude of the match is... There's going to be pressure. I think, All Blacks have a lot to play for. I mean, obviously the record at Eden Park, Ari Sevilla's 100th game, there's a lot in line for them. So I think the pressure of the game is definitely going to be there. But like I said, we know what we need to do. And like Bowen said, we focus on doing the job on Saturday. And I think all of that is just external factors that we need to take in the court. But yeah, the game is very important to us, and we will do everything we need to get a result on Saturday.
Also, Moody is embracing, though, his backline versatility once again, with the 22-year-old expected to start on the wing for a second consecutive match.
Yeah, I must say it's a bit tricky. Obviously, 13 is very different from 14. Roles and responsibilities and things are very much different. But yeah, I think leading up to a week, you fully change your mindset in where you need to play for on the weekend. So yeah, I think it's been tricky, like I said. But I felt like whenever I need to go on wing, I'm fully switched into doing what the wing needs to do, and that's being maybe a contesting in the aerial game, being a bit different in defense, and all the things that comes with that. But I think just that mental switch you make on a Monday is quite important.
Talking about a mental switch, let's switch from rugby to football now. The Orlando Pirates utility right winger Kamogelo Sibilibili is embracing his moment in the spotlight, though, as he gears up to represent Bafana Bafana in the upcoming FIFA World Cup qualifiers against Lesotho as well as Nigeria. Now, the 23-year-old, nicknamed Mike Mamusha, has credited his move, though, to the Buccaneers for accelerating his national team call-up.
I'm happy and excited to be here, to be given the opportunity to present my country, and looking forward to help the nation to qualify for the World Cup. It changed our whole because of no support ke tholang, it build a confidence, it couple confidence, and ke ready for bontsha batho ntho e ke nang le yona. Obviously, so because small teams, people don't recognize you. So no, obvious, I'm playing for Orlando Pirates, but to go and
yeah, a big club mentality. But what a player, man. Kaizer Chiefs attacker as well, Duduzi Shabalala, has earned his first national senior team call-up 3 years after turning professional, and he says that standout performances when you go back to the 2025 COSAFA Cup were pivotal, though, in catching the eye of the Bafana Bafana head coach, Hugo Broos.
I think for us going there, it was a good opportunity, good platform for us to showcase and maybe prove to the coach that we also want to be in the first squad, and see how things went now. We're happy to be here, and finally the coach saw us to be where I am now. I think the next step is to work hard and retain my position in this team, because obviously it's not easy. There are players who have more experience, and I can see who are better than us, and we need to show, and we need to play our part as players, and so that we can be here even in the next camps.
All right, also in a very, very important press conference held earlier on today, it was good to hear from the CAF president, Dr. Patrice Motsepe, who expressed satisfaction, though, with the report submitted by Africa's zonal unions, affirming that the increased funding is being used effectively to enhance competitions and also drive football development. Motsepe highlighted, though, that the annual subversion has led to a marked increase in grassroots initiatives, technical programs, as well as tournament quality right across the continent.
We have increased the money to the member associations. The zonal competitions are very important. And I was reminded that before President Infantino was president of FIFA, the member associations used to get 200,000. They're now getting 2 million. So that's very important, because some of the member associations have got serious financial challenges. And my job is to make sure that in every one of the 54 African nations, that the national team and the clubs plays in their countries rather than outside. And the question you ask about the zonal competitions takes account of this issue was raised, that you are giving me the same amount and there are 16 of us, and you are giving the same amount to the other ones where there are 6. And within CAF, we've taken initiatives to try and make sure that there's a balance. And I can assure you that good progress has been made. One of the things that I like is the report I get from every member association and zone. What do they use the money for? Because it's important that the money goes for development, for youth, for academies, for the competitions. Make those competitions world class. And I know if you're in COSAFA, for example, you have to travel from, it can take you in a plane more than 3 hours to fly from one area to the other. And we are making progress. You know, we're not where we would like to be, but as my brother said, if you look at where we started, enormous progress. And we are confident that we'll continue to do better.
All right, the brother that he talks about is the FIFA president, Gianni Infantino, who has moved swiftly to reassure African football fans that visa complications will not hinder their participation, though, in next year's FIFA World Cup. Hosted across the United States of America, Canada, as well as Mexico, Infantino addressed the growing concerns, though, over recent visa restrictions by the Donald Trump administration, which reportedly includes over 20 African nations as a travel watch list.
I think it's important to clarify this because there is a lot of misconception out there. Everyone will be welcome in Canada, Mexico, and the United States for the World Cup next year. We are working exactly for that. At the Club World Cup this year, we had fans coming in from 164 different countries without, of course, any problem. Obviously, there is a process to go through to obtain visas and so on, but this process will be smooth. It will ensure that those that qualify will be able to, of course, come with their fans. Volunteers obviously have to engage from Africa and from all over the world with the World Cup because it is an unforgettable experience, and we'll have tens of thousands of volunteers coming from all over the world, as always, in every World Cup. So we are working very hard to make this happen. Then, as President Motsepe said as well, every country has its own legislations in terms of obtentions of visa. We've heard even here there is not it's not visa free in the neighboring country for African countries. So two countries got the yellow card in the neighborhood here from Mamadou. So we have to work on that. We have to make it better. We have to make it seamless. But there is definitely the commitment of the governments in the United States and Canada and Mexico to make sure that the process is smooth and that fans from all over the world will be welcome, and it will be a celebration of football with a record number of African teams participating. Let's not forget.
Yeah, record number, man. But hopefully whatever Donald Trump says now, he insists on it and sticks to it, and we don't have a reversal of that, because Motsepe insisted, though, that discreet work with the U.S. authorities has secured commitments, though, to make the World Cup run smoothly. The president of CAF, as well as the vice president of FIFA, also said that further engagements with the U.S. authorities will be based around visa access, fan safety, as well as hospitality.
During the Club World Cup, Gianni was keep saying to me at night when we met in the football competitions that he's working round the clock to make sure that there is as facilitating and as convenient access to African supporters, fans to come and watch the Club World Cup, as well as a huge amount of engagement to ensure that next year all of those who want to come are keen to come. And of course, we recognize that every country, it's a matter of sovereignty. We recognize that has got their own requirements and their own legal obligations. But what I do know is that there's a huge amount of commitment, not just within FIFA. I mean, FIFA is enormously engaged and a huge amount of progress has been made, but there's also a huge amount of commitment within America to cooperate and to support the African fans who want to go and watch their national teams. And as I said, there's no difference in America or whether it's Europe or whether it's Brazil or whether it's any other country. We recognize that every country has got their own legal requirements, and we are confident that we will fulfill whatever requirements they may have, and there'll be sufficient access to African fans in the World Cup next year.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live at the same time. #MSW.
I recently got to drive the Defender, and honestly, it's built to take on anything. From city streets to tough terrain, it just feels unstoppable. Well, I've driven a lot of SUVs, but nothing compares to the Defender. The capability, the comfort, the way it handles, it really does embrace the impossible. Now it is your turn. Book your test drive at your nearest JLR retailer and secure your spot at the exclusive Defender Drive event on the 5th to the 6th of September. If you got a thirst for adventure, you need to experience this car for yourself. And something that I really, really loved, when you buy a new Defender, you get a complimentary off-road course at the Experience Center in Lone Hill. So book now at your nearest JLR retailer. The exclusive Defender Drive event from the 5th to the 6th of September. Defender, embrace the impossible.
The Checkers Hyper price drop is here. Save up to 40% on deals like Escort Bacon 200 grams any 4 for 99 Rand, save 20 Rand. Paramlat or Benita's Salted Butter 500 grams any 3 for 199 Rand, save 71 Rand. And a Morphe Richards Digital Air Fryer 7.2 litre for only 999 Rand, save 300 Rand. Deals valid until this Sunday, only at Checkers Hyper.
Is your child between 6 weeks and 6 years old? Then our world-class play-based learning at Dibba International Preschools is for you. We nurture curiosity, creativity, and confidence in a joyful, supportive environment. With a holistic approach to education, we help young learners explore, express, and grow, building a strong foundation for life. Discover the Dibba difference. Enrollments are open. Visit dibba.co.za to find a preschool near you.
Before this commercial, this auntie used to wish for miracles.
Now I am the miracle on wheels. Thanks to Lottoland, I've been the Oprah of Oudtshoorn. You get new school shoes. You get a gas heater. You get out of that toxic relationship. Groceries, flat tires. I'll sort everything. This scooter's got a basket in the front and blessings in the back. And Bluetooth.
Do you want to be an Auntie Betsy? Lottoland changes lives.
Oudtshoorn made it possible for us to travel more with the money that we save. 725. This is really real.
You are the biggest saver we've ever had.
2,794 Rand a month. It was the easiest switch ever. Get real.
How is it that Oudtshoorn provided the solution for you?
918 Rand is what I'm saving.
Incredible.
Go to outsurance.co.za now for a 10-minute quote that could save you thousands. Licensed insurer and FSP. T's and information online.
Dividing public opinion. The Room Dividers.
The Room Dividers. The Room Dividers.
The Room Dividers. That to my mind.
Chana Banana, as well as Mike Greenaway, a couple of weeks ago,
Yes.
we were sitting here and saying, Rusty's got everything to select by. But why are we where we are now? Is that starting to become now less of the luxury, but more of the grit?
What I'm certain we're going to see now is that the rotation is over. Pretty much he's going to go with the strongest 23, and that's that 23 from Cape Town. Who's going to play fullback? That is one position where there's a lot of question marks.
I mean, if you ask me who I'll select Fassi, without a doubt. The Springbok are going to eat Ricky Wani for breakfast if he is playing on Saturday. After 8 years, he's still poor with the high ball. And the All Blacks, for the first time, I go into a game and saying that they've got a weak back line.
Hashtag MSW. Hashtag MSW. Wednesday nights. Soccer nights. Your nights.
All right, Soccer Nights, it is an international window, though. As you all know, World Cup Championship qualification underway. The likes of Congo are going to be taking on Tanzania. Those two games with Eritrea and Zambia, all of them called off. But earlier on, though, the Seychelles played against Gabon, with the Seychelles losing at home 4-0 against Gabon. So, yeah, plenty to look forward to in the next couple of days. Obviously, the big focus is centered around our national team, Bafana Bafana. Their games against Lesotho, their games against Nigeria. Well, we heard earlier from the president of FIFA, Gianni Infantino. We also heard from the president of CAF, Patrice Motsepe. We want to be at the World Cup. I think it's as simple as that. The biggest showpiece with the most number of clubs and teams, national teams that are involved. Why would South Africa want to sit that one out? That's the big question. And that is why I also just wanted to try and squeeze in and chat to somebody that maybe at times we don't really get the opportunity to celebrate that much. Because, he's been a true warrior of South African football. If you're talking about a striker whose boots have carved history into the PSL records, from overcoming setbacks and battling injuries, to reaching that magical milestone of 100 league goals. How many players can you say have reached that milestone? I mean, his journey is nothing short of inspirational. He has delivered unforgettable moments at SuperSport United. And now there's a new chapter that's unfolded with Sekhukhune United. I mean, under the guidance of coach Eric Tinkler, he's done a marvelous job with him. What does this milestone actually mean to him? I mean, what are his ambitions with Babina Noko? And how does he reflect on a career that has seen both triumph and trial? And that is why tonight we'll try and relive the goals, the grit, the glory of Brad Grobler as a striker. I think a lot of people say he's a survivor, a history maker. Whichever name you choose for him, we'll go with it because he is all of the above and everything else that you'd want it to be. So Brad joins us. I know that he is in Gauteng very briefly under very trying circumstances, but he does have some time for us to chat. Brad, good to have you on the line.
Good evening, Rob. Thanks so much for having me.
How are you doing? How are you feeling?
Feeling good. Feeling good. Football-wise, feeling very good, to be honest with you. Obviously, my dad's, been in hospital for a couple of days now, and things have been a bit tough on that side. But otherwise, on the football side, loving life, feeling like a 21-year-old again.
I'm going to get to that because a lot of us would love to feel 21 at the age of 37, as you are at 27 past 6. But send our get well wishes, please, to Les Grobler. Yeah, he is somebody that I even said to you on the phone earlier on today when you told me about the situation, is that some of us grew up watching him play. Some of us grew up loving what he does on the field. Little did we know that he was going to pass it on to a certain Brad Grobler. So our best wishes to him. He's a strong lad, and tell him that he doesn't deserve to be where he is right now.
No, I appreciate that, Rob. Thanks so much. Yeah, like you said, he's a fighter. He'll be okay. So yeah, no, I will definitely pass on, and I appreciate the kind words. Thank you.
Listen to those for 2 seconds.
That'll change the conversation. Well, they're talking to they're going to get from Eric Tinkler at the break. He's not going to be a happy man. Machalwa goes to the back post, and they pulled one back. Brad Grobler on debut. We had another player scoring on debut in an earlier game that was asked on the bonus, and Brad Grobler is up and running for Sekhukhune. One of the easier headers. There it goes. He will score unchallenged.
What a start to the season, Brad.
Oh yeah, Rob. That. I must be honest with you. It was a special game for me. Obviously, being at a club for so many years, and a contract coming to an end, and coming to a time in your career where as much as I didn't doubt my ability, you just a lot of people get very scared of age, and especially in South Africa, I think it's something that's talked about a lot. You doubt, is something going to come up? Is the right move for me and my family going to come? And when I got the call to say that Sekhukhune and Eric, specifically were interested in me, it was something that excited me. And obviously, going to a new club like that with so much ambition and, you want to hit the ground running, especially when the coach really believed in you and brought you in. So to hit the ground running like that and getting people within the club behind me and supporting me was massive for me to start like that. So, it was a massive game for me, and the start I couldn't have asked for to go any better.
I mean, it's a contrast though, Brad. I mean, you look at last season and how that started for you. It was knee injury. It was that terrible facial injury that you had that laid you off as far as the 2024-25 season is concerned. And now you start a brand new season and there's a brace.
Yeah, it's I always said, even at my days at SuperSport, I always said some of my best seasons came post, disappointing where there was a surgery or whatever went wrong. Majority of my best seasons came the year after, and I believed in that before I started, and I made the move there. So, and at the moment, I mean, really feeling good and loving my football.
But what's the driving motivation though? Because a lot of people would have said, you know what, these injuries, they want to drag me down. I'm not so lucky in terms of that. But for you, it's almost like it fortifies you. It almost like says, you know what, these are small things. There are still bigger fish to fry.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what, Rob, I don't like to talk about myself, but, I actually spoke to someone today at training to say, we're just talking about missing games and he told me he had a knee injury and he had an op. And, and I said, I've been for, I think it's 7 surgeries now that ruled me out for almost 7 years of football. And I don't think I give myself enough credit for the mental strength that I actually got. And, I think that comes from a strong background as well. Obviously, having my dad there, having my family at home here that are so supportive. And I think that drives me. I think, I got 2 boys now that are 11, 10 years old. And, they love watching me. They love watching me do well. And I think, when I combine all those things, it's just, on top of having that love for football and not wanting to stop, I think that all just helps and plays into my hands, going on for so long and playing. And still, I don't feel 37. I've got to be honest with you. The training at Sekhukhune is really, I'm not saying it's easy, but it's a lot more manageable where I feel, I can do this and I feel like I can do it for years to come. So, yeah, I'm in a really good space at the moment, Rob, to be honest with you. So
you sound it though. Yeah. When you talk about the kind of training, and I go back to what I suppose within the media space, people are starting to call like a tailored approach. Because let's rewind. Let's go back to Gavin Hunt's coaching style, and I'm going to get to Eric in just a second, based on what you've just said now, because there was a Hunt player understanding from what we could observe. You could skip a couple of training sessions, for example. You would miss a couple of selected matches without any repercussions because there was that tailored approach based on how you load your lot. Did that help, though, in terms of understanding, Brad? Because if you didn't have a coach that understands you and how to load you and how to prevent, prospective injuries from happening, then they would have had a completely opposite approach.
Yeah, look, I do hear what you're saying. I don't want to blame any other coaches for injuries or whatever. I think, you mentioned Gavin as well. I think, I've all the respect in the world for Gavin, and he also managed me really well. I must be honest. I think I got very unlucky while he was there, with the face injury, which ruled me out for a really long time. But he also had really good ways of managing. I think to a certain extent, the style of football we could have played was definitely more demanding, and training was as well. Where I think with Eric, it's different. I think you train hard, but it's a lot shorter. So yeah, I don't want to say with one coach I trained a lot harder, but just at the moment something just seems to be clicking where, I feel like I've got a lot of energy. And to be fair with you, it could even be the change of atmosphere and scenery, and that could also play a part in it. So I don't want to put my finger on one thing. But yeah, it's definitely something. And it was strange. I can't think of the commentator I met the other day after the game, and he just looked at me. He's like, "I've never seen you playing a whole game with a smile on your face." So yeah, something's there, and it's exciting me. And yeah, like I said, I think I said it 5 times now. I just feel like I'm in a really good space.
You know what that space is, though, because there's a difference between being number 1 and number 2. And right now, maybe you can help me, was memory sometimes fades from time to time, Brad. At the moment, yes, it's after 5 games, I understand, but who's top of the table?
Yeah, look, it's been an incredible start to the season. I think, we've done well. We've picked up some good results, and at the same time, what's good about it is we've grinded results. And for me, I've always said that in South Africa football, that's the most important thing. And I think a team like Sundowns do that well, where they'll have good games, but they haven't have that odd game where they're really just getting a 1-0 or a 2-1, last minute goal or something. And we've got that. We've got an incredibly talented team at Sekhukhune with a lot of good players. And the biggest thing, I think it's an ambitious club with an ambitious coach. So it's a long way to go, Rob. I think I've been down this road before. I think at Supersport there was a couple of times where we went into the half season break and we were top of the table and let it slip towards the end and had a bad second run.
But there was a time when there was a flip side of that, Brad, where Supersport were down at the bottom, but ended up winning the league.
I know. Trust me, it wasn't nice.
But you won.
Look, I think, yeah, I know. But yeah, I mean, we're in a good position. I think what we've got at the club is good, and I'm not going to say to you tonight that we are going to win the league, but we want to challenge. We want to be there. We want to fight. And, I think for any team finishing in the PSL in the top three has done well. So we'll take it one game at a time. Obviously, our next game is massive against Chiefs. So, yeah, they've also got off to a good start. But, yeah, we just got to focus on ourselves and not put too much pressure on ourselves, but just go out there and carry on doing what we've been doing.
Hi, Rob. This is Andrew from Rodipot. Rob, I would just like to congratulate Brad Grobler on this historical and monumental achievement, Rob. This one will go down in the annals of PSL as one of the greatest by a local South African player. However, Rob, I'm not surprised because some of us, we have watched his father, Les Grobler, when he used to turn out for Don't Follow Me, Follow the Birds, Rob. His father was a striker, but the difference with him, he was picking a very good shot on his feet, whereas Bradley, he's delicate, he's a sniper, he picks his shot and he picks his spot, and he's really, really delicate with the ball, and he's very elegant and efficient, Rob. And sometimes I ask myself, if it wasn't for injuries, how far he would have been. But Rob, nonetheless, it's magic, it's historical. Despite the injuries, he's one of our best strikers in South Africa. Well done, Bradley. Andrew from Rodipot.
Sure. Brad?
Yeah, very nice. I appreciate the kind words. Thank you. Look, I know people always mention my dad, and I think I've been very grateful to have him by my side from, obviously in the football space from the age that I was, 4 or 5 years old, where he got me to love football, and he was by my side all the way. So, yeah, I think I had a head start there, and yeah, the injuries, I know you mentioned that again there. Who knows? I feel like it could have been a lot more goals, but, I take the positives. I said to someone today that brought it up that, during those times, I got to spend, time with my family, and my kids were really small at that age. So, I got to look at the positive side of it as well.
100 league goals, guys. That's all I'm saying is that is monumental. That is not an everyday achievement. Andrew also talks about your approach. He mentioned the word delicate. So as you said, delicate, I remember it happened just recently. Delicate lob over Darren Keat to score against your former coach.
Yeah, so it was a very nice assist from Darren. Yeah, no, look, Robin, when we're going about the 100 league goals, I had absolutely no idea.
No ways.
No idea. After the game in the change room, our media guy came through and said, well done on 100. I said, no, man, it was 100 like last year, the year before. I think it's 120. He's like, oh no, I better delete my post then. And then I changed, I got onto my phone, and then I saw, 100 league goals. And I said to him, no, you better just check, because it actually is right. I didn't have a clue. I still to this day, I don't know how many people have got 100 league goals. It's not a stat I've seen. until after the last game. I must be honest with you.
That is true, Brad, because I know you celebrated in 2023 the 100 goals. But when we break it down and we say 100 league goals, that's a different conversation altogether. And that is why we want to remind South Africans and say, guys, you know, at times we say Brad Grobler, what an achievement. But I don't think we actually take time to take it all in. And that's why today we've got him on the line. Yeah, as he says, he was going to be in studio, but fully understand the circumstances. But yeah, lots of questions, lots of WhatsApp voice notes. Please send them through. It is a Wednesday. It is Soccer Nights.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live at the same time. #MSW.
Hip hip hooray! It's Hirsch's massive birthday sale from the 26th of August to the 23rd of September. We have incredible deals on your favorite TVs, appliances, beds, and more. Save a whopping 4,000 Rand when you purchase a Hisense side-by-side fridge for 13,999 or get a SodaStream Tira machine for only 1,299. These and other amazing birthday deals available in-store online at Hirsch's.co.za. Hirsch's, we will save you money.
So Taryn, you've just graduated cum laude, but nothing says you're a genius quite like selling your car to We Buy Cars.
Absolutely. My car was an 18th birthday present and it's time to move on to something a bit more mature.
So where did you hear about We Buy Cars?
All of my friends are using We Buy Cars. I would have had legit FOMO if I hadn't used them. And it was so quick. I did it on my laptop while sending around my CV.
Smart move, Taryn. Graduated and upgraded. We Buy Cars. Geared for success. Geared for you.
Do you know where the biggest payouts on slot games are? They're at Lotto Star. Spin the reels now on our Real Rush slot games and stand a chance to win a massive payout of up to 30 million Rand instantly. You don't want to miss out on payouts this big. Hurry and head to lottostar.co.za. Your world of live games.
Lotto Star is licensed by the Mpumalanga Economic Regulator. No under 18. NRGP 0800 006 008. T's and C's apply. All games are fixed odds betting events.
Every day, most of us spend an hour in the food aisle, stressing about what to make for dinner. That's 29,200 hours of your life spent shopping and deliberating over what's for dinner. Why not trade that internal drama for watching a little on-screen drama? Oh, Ronaldo. Or whatever else you want to do. And let You Cook handle dinner. Delivered, prepped, and ready to cook. So, choose You Cook and take back some me time. Visit youcook.co.za to find out how.
You set high standards for your business. So when you apply for funding, don't settle for off-the-shelf. Get top-shelf, tailored solutions from Lula. We've built South Africa's first business-only banking suite, where our funding experts will help you access up to 5 million Rand in as little as 24 hours. Fast-track your cash flow. No queues, no wait, no collateral needed. Apply today and experience business-class banking and funding at lula.co.za.
Spring has sprung at Stodell's Garden Centres. Transform your garden with 50% off on a massive variety of plants and also 50% off a wide selection of pots. Experience the colour, happiness and buzz of spring when you shop at Stodell's Garden Centres. Visit Stodell's at Bryanston, Ferndale or Menlo Park and add a burst of colour to your garden. Stodell's. Create happiness. Offer ends 7 September. T's and C's apply.
Dividing public opinion. The Room Dividers.
The Room Dividers. The Room Dividers.
The Room Dividers. Zato Mamanji.
Springboks versus the All Blacks as well coming up this weekend. Tanda Banana as well as Mike Greenaway.
The last time the Springboks played a test match, it was against Australia, and Rassie announced his team on a Monday. I think when he announced it on that Monday before Australia, he was trying to make a statement. Look, we can announce our team early. You can analyse us to death. This is who we are. It's one thing, knowing what we're going to do. Another thing, can you actually stop us?
This is not mind games. I think a lot is at stake for both coaches, Scott Robertson, Rassie. You know, we're going to Eden Park knowing that the bomb squad needs to be effective. A couple of weeks ago, we had 4 squads. Now, all of a sudden, do you start a Eben? Do you drop a Lewitt? So there are big questions to be asked to the management team of the Boks.
Let's go, Rocker! #MSW. #MSW. Wednesday nights. Soccer nights. Your nights.
Well, the record breaker himself, Bradley Grobler, is on the line with us, a renowned South African footballer. In fact, at the age of 37, he's doing what a lot of people who are in their teenage years can't even imagine. Oh, Brad, you know what? The problems you've created for us here, you're going to make time, boss, because we are inundated. There's so many messages that keep coming through. Listen.
Hi, Brother Sir JC Teve here. I just want to congratulate Bradley Grobler on this milestone. Having watched his father, Les Grobler, doing marvelous things, scoring beautiful goals, and now I'm very privileged to be watching Bradley Grobler doing the same. So I just want to wish him an injury-free season. I just want to see what he will do at the end of the season if he stays injury-free. Thanks a lot, Brother. Good show, as always.
Good evening, Rob. You're chatting with an absolute legend in the PSL. And in my opinion, one of the most unluckiest, if not the unluckiest guy, not to wear a Bafana jersey regularly. From the Super Sport days, almost every season, you'll see there the top 5 goal scorers of the season, Bradley Grobler. Every season, since the Super Sport days. And now reviving himself at Sekhukhune. It's absolute pleasure watching him play. The skills is just on a different level, and I hope that he gets a call up to the national team and just to share his knowledge with the players. But again, one of the unluckiest guys not to wear the Bafana jersey regular. This is Artie from Joburg.
Okay, thank you so much, man. Brad, as they stream in, how do you respond to that though? Unluckiest not to wear that Bafana jersey as regularly as we would have wanted you to be. How do you take that? How do you respond to that?
Yeah, it's something that's been difficult over the years. I think I got a chance, under Coach Stewart. Obviously, Coach Pizza was the first one to call me back then. And then, I think within those couple of years, that's when I really went through, some of the more serious injuries. And I was in and out, and it became difficult. But at the same time, it was always been and always was my dream to wear that national jersey as often as I could. And, I got to be honest with you, the last however many years, it's something that I never gave up on, as much as, I kind of brushed it aside and that, but it's been very disappointing because, I always wanted to get back there, but, I think those days I think are long over, I think. But, I really enjoyed the time I had there, and it is one of my, I wouldn't say regret because it wasn't up to me all the time, but something that disappoints me a little bit. I would have loved to have played more in the national team and more importantly played some of the bigger tournaments. I never played an AFCON or...
Jeez.
So, yeah, it's something that, look, I've loved my career. I've really enjoyed it, but that is one thing that does just leave a bit of a sour taste in my mouth. I got to be honest.
I mean, you're breaking records here. You're breaking... getting into a century of goals scored in the league, a century of goals scored overall. You're a record breaker, record holder. You're somebody that even last season, I looked at the assists, I looked at the goals, and I was like, how's this guy going? But for you to have achieved that and been one of the top strikers in the history of the game in South Africa, not to have played an AFCON, I mean, this might be an awkward question, forgive me, but I'm tempted. Do you believe, though, that there was a Bafana coach who maybe deliberately didn't choose you for whatever reasons to frustrate you?
I wouldn't say so. I wouldn't say that was the case. Look, I think Hugo Bruce has come in and done an incredible job. I think the turnaround within that Bafana team has been massive. But just listening to his talk, the first couple of times, I could tell you already from the start that, if I scored 30 goals in the season, I would never be there. But no, to say I feel like somebody either disliked me or didn't, I didn't feel that way. I must be honest.
Good evening, Rob, and good evening to Brad Grobler. Rob, you are talking to one of the most prolific strikers that we've ever produced in this country. I like the way he simplifies things in the final third. He doesn't write essays. He goes for that killer instinct, and that is something admirable that I think youngsters can learn from Bradley in terms of how to simplify things in the final third. But I just want to find out from you, Bradley, how do you feel seeing that Super Sports is no longer there? Considering that is one of the teams that contributed to your development and also gave you an opportunity where you scored most of your career goals at SuperSport. Thank you so much. Wishing you all the best at Sekhukhune.
Tebogo, thank you so much. You don't write essays. I love that description.
No, I was never good at school, I must be honest.
Yeah, but the school of football, you've taught us many lessons, eh?
Well, it had to work for me, to be honest. So far it's been good.
Super Sport United's demise, I mean, it brings again what somebody said, Andrew in Rudderport earlier on, talked about, Les Grobler, Morocco Swallows, defunct, doesn't exist anymore. Super Sport United, Brad Grobler's over 10 years stay and records being broken in that team. Over 10 seasons. I mean, you were there for so many years. 91 goals, 29 assists, 293 appearances. That's been your legacy. It's gone. How do you feel?
It's shocking, Rob. It's honestly, it's taken me a long time. It took me a long time to kind of get over what's happened. I mean, it's all good and well. Obviously, the PSL will be around, but a couple of years ago, I was celebrated becoming the club's all-time top goal scorer, and and that's gone. It doesn't exist. I got a framed shirt at home with Super Sport and this many goals, and it's gone. I played for Platinum Stars, Silver Stars first, Platinum Stars, Ajax Cape Town, Super Sport. Now, I got my boys growing up who love soccer. They follow it, and obviously they're just starting to understand. If they looked at the league now, none of the teams I played for are there. I've got a jersey hanging in my house with the club all-time top goal scorer, and it feels to me as if that's been wiped away. And I believe our football's in trouble. To be completely honest with you, and I think things have got to come right somewhere. I think the selling of league teams and buying, and it's not good for our football and where we're going. So it's something that I was very disappointed. I was angry. It's something that
it must though. Yeah. I hear the voice, I hear the tone, and it certainly would, because I agree with you, Brad, 100%. This is a topic one has brought forward many a time, to say when you raise history in that way by selling, imagine Abramovich, if he had come through to Chelsea, bought Chelsea, taken it to Russia.
Yeah, no, it makes no sense, and it is affecting our league already, and it's gonna affect the league in the long run.
Let me take Ephraim and Alex. Ephraim, you got a question? Good evening.
Good evening, Rob. How's it?
I'm good, man. I'm with one of the greatest ever. Go ahead.
Straight to the point. Our best striker in South Africa. Mlungu, why can't you come to Pirates this season? When are you tend to come to Pirates? We need you.
Thanks, Ephraim.
Yeah, Ephraim, thank you. Thanks for the question. It's a tough one. Look, if I'm going to be completely honest with you, there was a time in my career where some of the bigger teams wanted me, and I didn't feel it was the right time for me to leave SuperSport, and I'm going back many years ago. But at the same time, and I don't want to mention those clubs, but it's the bigger clubs. If I go back 4 years, 5 years, 6 years ago, there were times where my contract at SuperSport was finishing. I was offered to those clubs, and if I go 5, 6 years back, I was told then that I was too old. They're looking for the younger, yeah. So it wasn't there were times where I just said it wasn't the right time for me. And there were other times where the opportunities were there. My contract was up, and those options were there. And I'm talking 6-7 years ago, 3 years ago, 7 years ago, however long.
You was entering your 30s then.
Yes, where I was told now I'm getting on the older side of football. So it wasn't always me. Those options were there, and so
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, you're entering 40, but you're doing some crazy things on the field, and that's why somebody sent this voice note.
Good evening, Mr. Marawa, and good evening to Bradley Grobler. I just want to congratulate Bradley for the numbers that he has achieved in terms of the goal-scoring charts in the history of EPSL. I think what keeps him going is the love for the game and being consistent, Mr. Marawa, because you can see an injury-free Brad Grobler is scoring goals for fun. And what I want to ask him is that I strongly believe he was supposed to play for one of the big three. Was there any interest before? Because he's one of those strikers who I think was going to make it in the big three. Thank you, Mr. Marawa. Good show as always.
But thank you so much, man. Brad?
I think I answered the question about the big three, and I mean there were talks a few times, but as I said, those were times where I felt like it wasn't the right time, or and then obviously there were times where I was too old. So that's just It would have been an exciting challenge, but at the same time, I think I've had a good career at the clubs where I was, and the most important thing, I've enjoyed my football. So
fun question around those so-called big clubs. Had it been a choice for you, a preference for you, would it have been Chiefs or Pirates?
To be honest with you, Rob, at different times, it probably would have been different teams. I would have felt like there were times where Chiefs were going through a really good spell, and I'd worked with the coach there maybe, or and then the other times I felt like it could have been Pirates. There was never really one that I would have said that that's like I grew up supporting them. Obviously, I followed my dad's football and that. So, for me, it would have been at the time, what was happening within the club and that. So it was never that I favoured one over the other.
When are you getting into studio, man? There's 10,001 questions, 10,001 voice notes, and you can understand. So next week sometime?
Come in studio.
Yeah, we need you here.
Absolutely. I would love to. As long as I get one of your nice hats again.
Well, it will be adding on to the national team caps you never got, Brad. Hey, you know how we roll with these things.
No, I'd love to come in studio and chat to the
listener and the viewer.
Yeah, answer a few questions.
Love that, Brad. Strength to your dad. Thanks so much, man, for making the time and creating the opportunity for us to engage today and just set the scene for your studio engagement as well.
Yeah, Rob, just before I go also, I think, I've got to congratulate Peter Shalalile for his achievement as well. It's something I thought about for a long time, and obviously the dream is still there to become the all-time top goal scorer. But at the same time, I think we've got to congratulate him, and I think for those that know him, and I've chatted to him a few times, I couldn't be happier for a guy like that. I think if there's a player who is, an example of what a professional should be, and, he's the guy. So I'm very happy for him, and I will try and chase him.
You must. We'll start there.
No.
When you're in studio, when you come in here, we'll start with the Shalalula conversation. Brad, thanks. I got to go. Thank you.
Rob, I appreciate it.
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. Thank you so much indeed. Brad Grobler there, hey, getting us into extra injury time. This has been Marawa Sports Worldwide, proudly brought to you by Hollywood Bets. Catch you tomorrow.
The thrill, the drama, the action. Let the game begin. Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947.